They're cleaning things up, adding up those points here, so they're off to a good start. And if this clash, some heavy hitters here in the lobby. Edgy, Chance, they're set up on the outskirts. Peterbot going toe-to-toe with Chance on the wall there. Chance forced to back up for a second now. Got to put some respect on it. Great tag onto Duke there behind the wall, and Peterbot already kind of demanding respect here as he's walking his way through the space.
Kind of like foreshadowing a possible grand finals fight if both teams could make it that far. Brutal boxcars, something Peterbot says he might be after, as they do have the upper hand in this fight by a long shot as well. Multiple angles, stealing away multiple builds, closing out on so many options that they have. Even Cold on one side, taking the charge by himself. Peterbot doing the same thing. He does have that exotic Yoink Outlaw shotgun, so he's going to pull players to him if he's able to hit that first. And if it's close enough, that second one for surely will get the knock.
Exotic shotgun does so much damage as well. You saw him just ripping shields off of anyone that gets touched by it. Look at how much respect he's putting on this team here. You know, typically you'll see like Peterbot kind of key his way all the way through, but no, taking his time here, just kind of easing his way into game one, just really showing that he's not here to mess around today.
I think it just might be the loadout difference. If they had a Sentinel, maybe they would be a little bit more aggressive, but only having 2 shots with the Outlaw, you have to be just a little bit more precise, which means you can't necessarily take the same risk. But I can only imagine how Edgy's feeling. Twin Fire on one side, Chance trying to take advantage, a little bit of drop onto Ritual. He's able to escape out. You're seeing the resource count, the material is getting very, very low from both of these teams in this fight, and the zone kind of pushing them on the edge. So all those teams on the north side will eventually end up in this position if this fight takes too long.
Edgy does have a med or a misform to work with here too, so it's not like he can't completely disengage, but I think they're recognizing what's kind of happening here. Like, this is Peterbot's trio here. Still have dashes as well too, so they're pretty content with taking this fight to the very end. Peterbot holding Ritual. Now have to time to decide here as well. They're also running low on material, but so much more heals to work with.
Just look at the big difference. You see right now Chance, top left, the superhero rank B. And now if we see it on the other side, Peterbot, Cold, Ritual, they're already S ranked. They're getting all the resources around the map. They don't even have a singular elimination. That just goes to show how good not only their drop spot is, but how good taking these island objectives that Kelly was talking about to start the show. It's just more than just the loot. It's more than just the loadout. Because once they get to S+, that's just their final form. But Ritual is going to be the first one knocked. That's an opening there. Cold's there trying to alleviate the pressure. He gets not just one, but 2 different knocks right back. Chance goes down. Peterbot making sure to alleviate the pressure, and they strike to win that fight. Ritual being down is only a small hiccup in their game plan.
Yeah, you saw how quickly Peterbot kind of collapsed inside, but Cold holding his own behind the cone there. Well played. And that's their first full set of elimination there. There's a team listening, walking in here now from the north side, though, so Cold and Peterbot here might be messing around, having fun, dancing in the box, but they do have to be careful. Take a look from Peterbot's perspective. Comes down through the cone, right behind Chance there. He didn't even see him coming. Cleans things up pretty quickly. There's another fight. Seems to be coming to an end. 2v1 situation right now for Plasma 5. Tough spot to be in here and now.
It's that much tougher. Third-party shot, a whole nother team. Gets coned out, blocked off from trying to escape. Still able to extend his life just a little bit longer. Trade shots with one. But I think that was the last shotgun shot. Unless they traded any bit of ammo on the other side, that might have been it. But neither here nor there, because 49 still able to get that elimination. Even with the third-party annoyance coming in, they're going to close that one out and kind of gives them a chance to get Kyrie back on up. You see the zone pulling away. Yeah, maybe a little bit more drastic with another pull towards the north, but at least they're going to get a chance for the trio to get back into the game. Wow.
Everything unfolds before you realize it. Take a look at a little update here with Kaji, Kovix, and Bray. After being contested, they've kind of moved out. Seems like they've got their Barons back under them here. Other team on the outskirts, marker on the map here. They're really spotting this squad out here. It's Ozone and Veer. Seem to be moving, trailing kind of closely behind them. Great tags on Takashi there from Noxy. kick this one off.
Not a bad idea. Angel, Aim Red, Gary. They essentially land at Foxy Floodgates, and they didn't necessarily take the challenge in order to contest Peterbot, Ritual, and Cold on that island, but they're just taking the position. It is going to be in zone. Now they got to start worrying about a way down, but you can see they're only 100 above the damage threshold. That's not in their worry for now. Their main focus point is just trying to get as many shots for Surge as possible, so that way when they do make that inevitable trip towards the Lord ground, it's a little bit easier then to find a little bit more comfortability instead of having to go straight after more Storm Surge.
Yeah, that's always the looming pressure in these types of lobbies is where you're going to get that damage once you start to slip behind. Fishy Neko, Zavi looking for something here, but give that a second for a moment. Aaron's team's below the Surge. We just talked about where do you find the damage. This is how you do it. Sometimes you just got to kind of force the action here. Dash is coming out. They try to put the chase onto Cynics and Fred here. Fred's kind of in the front. And again, any tags onto Surge. A couple. Look at how they're just 9 above right here, Jacob. So this is going to go all the way through to Siberia.
Yeah, 9 above. Yes, you're not going to get active Storm Surge taking damage onto you, but you know that's not a feeling of comfortability. You know that could flip in a heartbeat, and that's why they're following him. There it happens, 6 to 22, below the damage threshold. Great shots being fired off. He's going to be forced back. Surge, Cynics, and Polar are doing a good job playing this one defensively, and another third party coming in. Zone closing in their favor. As long as they don't make any bad peaks, in order for Polar to get taken down, they should have more than enough time with more and more teams rotating in this position. But Fredbot being down below the damage threshold, he might not have the luxury to wait this one out.
And HP kind of ticking away there. Cynic, Cirque, and Polar trying to wait this one out for a second. Curly, Ree, and Cooper want nothing to do with this action here. Aaron, though, below the Surge, goes for a trade of tags there. The Surge is active. He might have bought himself a little bit of time with that big shot onto Surge for a moment there. So this is going to continue to go the distance now. And as this all happens, looks like Ritual, Cold, and Peterbot have kind of joined the action here, looking to rack up eliminations, if nothing else, at the moment.
Just walking down the street. Hey, what is this? Is this something I want for a moment? It did look like they were willing to take that chance, but they disengage on out. Yeah, I think it's just that low on Surge. Yeah, he got straight eliminated going for it. Sometimes, Monster, you know as well as I do, if you're not proactive enough to get that Storm Surge, you're no longer in control of your own destiny, of your own game plan. You literally have to push one of the first teams you see, even more so if you don't have any heals to attempt to out-heal it.
Yeah, Cold, Ritual, and Peterbot kind of ease their way off of that messy fight. I mean, just see out of nowhere teams land all around them. That's just showcasing how desperate some are just for that little bit of extra damage. Sebi and his trio here, I would assume don't need the damage. Yeah, they don't, but that Storm Surge is cooking Sebi. Or sorry, the Storm damage in general. Luckily, he does make it to the edge of the zone, and it pulls this way, so that all happens here. Looks like the team might have noticed what happened there, kind of reading the room a bit right now. They've got to put up a fight back, though, or change layers or something here. Can't just let their mats get eaten up like that. Luckily, the pressure kind of eases up for a second there.
Second sooner on that pressure would have been disastrous. Sodeto, Osid, Cam going against Enpen. Zen. And one more. You can see Zen trying to stay alive. He was able to get the knock, but Nut tried to push in. Just too little too late. Enpen's all in the box as well. Cam just had the perfect angle. And even though Soneto went down, he was the perfect distraction for them to win that fight. It's just it being a 5-tick in the zone, pulling further and further away from where they're at. The chances of them being able to get that reboot is probably slim to none.
Yeah, I doubt it's going to happen here, but we are at a name POI, so we'll see. We've seen crazier things happen late into the game. Let's watch this, though. What happened to Cooper and Curly? Reed was just moments ago sitting healthy on the side of a mountain, but this zone rotate must have been disastrous for them, and now every team under the sun that's got a little bit of an angle on them seems to be putting pressure here onto Reed. Now it's just 10 builds. is a tough situation. How far can he go here? Players are dropping though. Like, he could maybe earn placement points. It's not gonna be easy, but it's always pretty light right now.
Yeah, with no elimination so far, this could be one of those situations to where it could be a 0-point game. 2 more trios do need to go down. Reed's at least in a much healthier position than he was before, but 16 builds left. That's all he has. That's cold. Ritual and Peterbot, they're looking above. 460 damage, and this is exactly what happened. Monster, you asked the question, what happened to Reed Cooper Curly? Well, they ran into Cold, Ritual, and Peterbot along the way.
Yep, as always. You got Peterbot in the lobby. You take all your plans, all your strategy, throw it out the window. He's got one of his own. Oh, look at this, though. The second. No way. Reed turning online. Little 2v1 for the boy. We're just kind of hinting at whether or not he was going to be able to actually earn some extra points. And, well, guess what? He's got placement points and now Elam points starting to add up here. No misform, though. That was probably the biggest letdown, but take a look at this. A little loot left over. Hey, he's going to welcome all types of siphons here. And he goes. Look at how that kind of worked out the pre-fire here. Fred and Caliper was so lit up. It's perfect.
Just dipping his toes in. Little refreshing water at the bottom. Double siphon mats as well. Plus he has those bubble shields in order to kind of save some of those mats where he can, in case he does get sprayed. Jojo Fishy, Pikes, Aoxy kind of turned the tables just a little bit from the last team that we saw on top of the island. They're hoping that this amount of elevation can be very, very useful to them, but in the back of their minds, they still have to be wary about how they're going to get down, especially if they don't have the misform. As Peterbot called Ritual, they finish the job, they take out Reed. At least he was able to get some of those eliminations and at least a team or two worth of placement points.
Yeah, that is true. Just looking at the way this zone's kind of ending here, this is high-key a crazy place for the game to end, kind of right in between the Foxy Floodgate and then going up and over of all the directions, the most vertical towards the islands up top. Just unforgiving at the moment.
Wow. 419 below the damage threshold. If he could just kind of out-survive this, maybe hope that full trio gets sprayed down, he can get some of the damage. But he basically needs 2 full eliminations worth of damage in order to get above that threshold. So it's going to be a mountain to climb for him, but literally and figuratively, you see the zone pulling in that direction. Aoxy and team hasn't really been contested that high up. 1,400 damage above the threshold for Peterbot Cold and Ritual, just continuing to take names and check them off their list. 7 eliminations so far. And if that stat earlier on the game means anything, they're on track for at least 18.
Yeah, this is going pretty big right now. And you know what? It's kind of interesting that it's by choice they're running the Outlaw right now. So this is a very hyper kind of, you know, make a mistake and it's over for you type loadout. The heavy hitters right there. Ozone, Vera, and Noxy playing very clean endgame right now. Nice pickup onto Yusuf right there. No mistake being made. Up into a Neko Fishy. Xavi, they're going to lose one right now. Trying to play the front side. Early to rotate here on the low ground. Peterbot's team coming through, though, moving fast. Talk about your ability to kind of key through. Medmiss kind of forced out here as the zone's pushing in. He's got another one. Into the box he goes. Grabs the wall, too.
Wow, it's kind of the bait and switch. Look at the double down. In mere seconds, Peterbot is essentially full health. Cold takes much of the damage going first. He just switched spots with Peterbot, kind of like a train ride as they're running through teams here on the low ground. And a much different side of things that we've seen before on their way to big games and big eliminations. They usually dominate the mid-levels. They dominate the high ground. They're just proving there's other aspects to their game, but disaster strikes. Ritual and Cold both go down. Peterbot's now being put to the test. 1 elimination, 2. He's getting multiple knocks here, and another one on the Veer as the elimination cleans up. 146, and remember, he still has the medallion, and he goes in for more. He is going for seconds, Monster. He is hungry.
Did you say 18? Did you call it an 18? Okay, yeah, I think he's on his way. He's at 16 right now, Jacob. Just cooking on the low ground. I mean, he makes it look effortless alongside Ritual and Cold. And sure, he's a solo now, but a top 5 surely seems to be in question as he's working his way up the high ground. Jojo, Pikes, and Aoxy, gotta look out. You got this man with a some dangerous action here on the low ground here. Here comes A little floor take right there, putting out the cones. He's got that miss form to go ahead and scout for a second there. Gets to the front as well. These are not his builds right now. Tyler trying to break his way through. And it is just going down right now. I mean, I still think it's anyone's game here.
Yeah, I think so as well, especially since a lot of the players on the low ground still haven't clashed up until HQ going down. Peterbot still finding a tunnel and a tarp, even if it's recycled builds. Osin and Cam doing the same thing, but they're almost fresh out. You see only 3 more materials used on one side, which makes this that much more important. They need the loot, the siphon, the mats, everything here, and they're going to get most of it and continue moving forward as they take down Tyler as well. But the flank comes in. One's going to go down. That's Cam cleaning up Tyler for the siphon. Didn't come in time, but Peterbot's still alive. He finally goes down, but into the top 3 we go.
Nicely done for sitting Cam to kind of survive that onslaught there. JoJo Pikes, Aoxy get broken down. They're just looking to reinforce, and you can feel the pressure from them right now to try to qualify their way to finals. They're doing everything in their power not to clash prematurely here on the low ground. Sid and Cam need to kind of fight back here. Sid goes up. JoJo boxes up. He wants to go for a heal off. This passive play might be a huge mistake here. Give it a second. Sid gets a knock. That's going to be a siphon waiting to get picked up. But no, gets crashed on by a huge tag there. JoJo, meanwhile, heals his way to the win. And that was the strategy all along.
And while all that action went down between those 2 teams, Monster Curve just sneaked his way into a top 2, but big ups for them. They just pulled off a big win, Monster, and qualified themselves for the Major 3 Grand Finals. You know what that means? They get the rest of the day off.
Yeah, you see, you can really feel it when, you know, every team has their own agenda. You got teams like Peterbot playing that low ground, hyper fast, right? Looking for fights, just kind of racking up eliminations. They could have gone for high ground a lot sooner, but with the way that Island was coming into play, Pikes Astria was like, nope, we're going to just go ahead and ride this one through to the end. And I was talking about that difficult terrain for good reason as well. That was a huge factor that they didn't even have to worry about. So clearly they had so much material. Let's look at it here from their perspective. JoJo Pikes Aoxy this late in the game, still sitting at about 60 or so builds. Pikes obviously had already dropped everything. Look at Curve up top from that side angle. He thought he had it for a moment there, but he ticked his way out. Congratulations to Aoxy Pikes and JoJo Fishy. Winning match 1 here for group number 3, Jacob. They're going and kick this one off. What a way to start the day there, Zeke.